Yo, it is Tuesday, and we're ready to go. Today we're talking about 20 million EVs by 2030. What in the world is what 3 words? And YouTube's take on the brand new and improved fast forward button.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who I
Tuesday's
is
got a feel to it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday's got a feel. And the 3 stories today are 3 that I'm strangely excited about. I don't know. Maybe
It's
it's the
just fun. I'm just excited about it.
The first story is as impractical as it gets. And then
Just
the next 2
completely
stories are
ridiculous.
insanely practical. This may
Super
be the most practical episode we've ever had.
Absolutely.
I would actually go on a limb to say that. I think the content in today's episode will be content that you actually use physically for the next 10 years of your life.
That's
minimum.
fair. Well, okay.
Minimum.
There's nothing at this point that I feel like is going to be used for 10 years of my life.
Not true.
Everything changes so often.
No, I think these 2 things will. I think if
I'm
we've
gonna go
ever
with
had
one
2
of them.
stories.
I'll go
Okay,
with the
go to
second
one of the
story.
2.
Third story, maybe.
Oh, I would have picked the 3rd story, not the second
Really?
story.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. Well, we'll
Okay,
get to
look,
those in a
We got to
second.
get into it. We got to get into it. Couple things, housekeeping notes as we go. Like we were at one point, both of us were youth pastors. So sorry for the housekeeping notes. Right. Okay. So look, we got a couple more episodes of Auto Collab streaming today at noon and 3. We've got Alana Shabte of Auto Lead Star, Jeff Gonzalez of AET Automotive. You will want to check those out. You can get them on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can find them searching Auto Collabs anywhere where you find your podcasts. All
you
of
can
that.
listen to it on the good old internet, just on the browser.
Internet. Yeah, you can pull it up on a browser. You can pull it up on your phone. I feel like Dr. Seuss at this point.
Yeah, not too many things right with browser. It's the problem. Hauser,
right? Like I don't know. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. Yeah, so excited about those. Those have been extremely great conversations. I've learned a ton from them, been encouraged by them. We've got 38 more already recorded. That's an over exaggeration, but it's okay.
Close enough.
It's close. Hey, I do want to, I haven't even talked to you about this, but I had to lay this out because after you recorded a video yesterday about the Carvana stuff, and there was a lot of activity on LinkedIn and on that other social profile. I mean, just some opinions about the way Carvana prices, how they trade on value, all of this type of stuff. But I got one in particular that I want to point out. Was actually, I reposted the story on my Instagram, got a message from a buddy of mine. He's like, man, literally, my whole office last week was discussing the pricing at Carvana and whether or not if Carvana had higher prices, would we pay more to not go to the dealership? And the overwhelming,
it's coming,
resounding yes,
hit me with it,
that happened was unbelievable. And to which I responded.
So the answer is yes.
Yes. His answer was absolutely and granted, a lot of these people are like 27 to 35 are in his office. That's kind of like
happens to be a pretty large buying demographic.
It's unbelievable, right? High, like millennials, new buying demographic, high money, right? Well, so to which I responded is it's unfortunate because it seems like 90 to 95% of the salespeople that I meet are not this sleazy kind of like overtaken, sales pressure,
stereotypical,
right?
Yeah.
Stereotypical. To which he responds, "That's funny. That seems like an over exaggeration because I was shopping for a car last year, and after 3 experiences at dealerships with middle-aged men who felt like they were trying to push something on me I didn't want, I just got out of the car market."
Whoa.
To which I said,
left the market.
Right. So I know that's an individual representation, but these, we as an industry just have to realize that these are the stories that are still being perpetuated in our industry today. And though there are so many incredible dealers, I would say that a large swath of the dealer network, you would never experience that. There may be individuals at stores or enough individuals or dealerships across the country that are crafting these types of experiences that the other dealerships have to overcome that narrative even more.
What's the real number? Good grief. We
Man,
need
what
to
is
do
the
a
real
piece
number?
on
I
this.
don't know
This
what
is a morning story that's just turned into
Actually, I texted
thing.
just so you know, and I don't know if we can get him on the show this week, but we'll try to. I texted Jamie Oldershaw. He started Dealer Rater, and what I know about Dealer Rater is they have a lot of data surrounding just like the percentages of dealerships that have positive or negative intent. You know, how many reviews overall. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the total scope of the dealer experience that people are dealing with in the service and sales perspective. And I want to find that out. So we're going to do that digging, because I'm even more concerned, right? I'm
very concerned. And I also know that we as ASOTU and this ASOTU community, that's the right comment, Brooke, that you just made, right? It takes all of us. I'm really concerned that we need to refine our messaging as ASOTU to literally alienate the ones that aren't willing to do it in a way that can change the perception, right? We can't put our arms around people that aren't willing to do that, because they're the ones that we want to convert as many as possible, but we can't do it. I was texting back and forth with a friend who works for, we'll just say, a dealership group that has a lot of data. And they did a major market analysis and found that Carvana sells at 103% market value on average, when the average dealer sells at 97%. So the swing is really 6%. Those customers are willing to pay thousands of dollars more. It's a lot. They don't understand it, but I understand. All right, let's talk about stories today.
Let's go. Let's go.
But by the way, we're going to be getting into this deep at ASOTUCon. I mean, this is the top. This is why we don't plan content too far in advance.
Everybody's going to be like, so we were going to talk about, they're going to ball it up, throw it into the audience and be like,
let's
so
get
what
on this
really?
Let's fix this.
Right.
So ASOTUCon, if you don't have your tickets, I know of a lot of dealers who are waiting till the last minute to buy their tickets. Don't wait till the last minute. Do us a favor and just buy the tickets now, so that we can make sure our food and our beverage and our seats and all that are right. Just if you care about us at all, just get your tickets now if you're gonna come.
Yes,
so you get those at ASOTUCon.com. We'll see you in Philly in a couple weeks. All right, now that we've eaten through half of the show on that, which I would argue is very important, not as important as this next story, but yet, speaking of next stories,
Stop. Segue.
Cheap one. Sometimes you just need a cheap segue. Elon Musk tweeted yesterday that Tesla could probably make 20 million EVs a year by the year 2030. So there have been a lot of predictions for 2030, but I have to say this one, I mean, look, he's got a flair for the dramatic. And if it's like, oh, you're going to predict that by 2030? Well, let me give you this one. So analysis by Reuters shows that that would make Tesla twice the size of any automaker in history, accounting for roughly 20% of the global vehicle market, and would be a 13-fold increase from the estimated 1.5 million vehicles it hopes to sell this year. They would need to build 7 or 8 more gigafactories, opening an average of one every 12 months, to take share from every competitor and emerge as a company that's the size of Volkswagen, global Volkswagen, and Toyota globally combined. Oh, by the way, they need to increase battery production by 30 times. And experts say that the raw material capacity to support that planned production does not currently exist today. That's a swinging for the fence moment.
This is unbelievable. Yeah, no, I think obviously bold claims always coming out of Elon, but I will say this: when it comes to anything that's not Tesla, we see these bold claims kind of like go by the wayside and move away. We're talking Twitter, all of those type of things.
We discount them.
But when he makes bold claims about what Tesla can or cannot do, like, this is what it takes for a visionary. Like, I wouldn't put it past him to build 7 or 8 more gigafactories. I would not put that past a company and a personality like him. So I would, like, as other
let's just add up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough to watch the NASA launch yesterday and then launch all the other rocket launches from SpaceX and even from like other companies, private companies. Right. And not think that if someone's going to make good on a claim, it's going to be the one that launched all the rockets and that made it work without the 10 years and all the public funding and all that. Yeah. So I don't know. He's a fence swinger. You got to respect him for that. But, I think it opens our mind to like, well, what actually is possible? And claims like that actually get us to look a little deeper. One of the things I learned through looking into the story is that the majority of the lithium supply that they've secured is actually in Australia. Like by a lot. way more than China. Like think, oh, he's China. I mean, he's got a lot going on in China, but there were a lot more lithium deposits that he's
He
drawing
just
from
wanted the
Australia.
vacation in Sydney every once in a
We
while.
have to ask our buddy Michael Johnson about this. He probably
There
knows
you go.
something. All right,
There
this next story is really something. Okay, this is the one that Kyle thinks we'll be using for the next 2 years. So
Absolutely.
go
10,
ahead, Kyle,
15,
launch into
20
this.
years. This is so practical. So essentially there is a new navigation perspective, a company called
I don't even know what to
What3
call it.
Words.
Is it a company? I couldn't even find out. Is it a company? Is it a protocol?
I
Whatever.
guess yeah, a protocol is good. I like protocol, but what3words is changing the way we look at navigation, retail, and even safety. So, touted as the only navigation system designed for voice, what3words divides maps into 3 meter squares, not feet or yards, 3 meter squares, and gives each a unique combination of 3 words. Now, I loved actually in the article or in what3words, if you dig a little deeper, it's funny because you're like, why 3 words? Why would you use 3 words? Well, in order to cover the entire globe, including water, they had to use in 3 meter. They needed 5.7, I think, billion combinations. Of words. Well, if they would have gone with 2 words and they needed to be in 35 languages that were easily translatable, they would have only been able to cover 4.2 or something.
You know what though?
Yeah,
it's better because the human brain is wired to remember 3s.
Thinks in 3s.
Even in the design aesthetic, if you have 2 like little pots with plants in it, if you add a third one, you're gonna be like, that feels a lot better for some reason.
Exactly.
3s,
So
words, marketing, 3 things. They didn't think of that, but that's just the reality.
Yeah. So essentially, the 3 word combinations were up to 6.4 billion combinations, and so they were able to cover the entire globe. And really, if you go look at it and you go to the navigation, it is so simple. Like you can just literally click every 3 meter by 3 meter square and find out exactly where you can be. So for me, the uses are endless. Thinking about, oh, I'm in this place, right? You don't have to go find geo coordinates if you're not near an address. You're out.
Meet me here.
Meet me here. I mean, the safety.
Drop off my package here. Right.
Drop off my package. But even like the safety, like if you are, if you're out, on a hike and you need to tell someone where to come find you,
or there's a car accident,
coordinates, needing all of that type of stuff, boom, you've got the exact coordinate of where you need to be.
So again, just think of 3 words like stand, bottle, hot dog. Right. Those 3 words are assigned to some 3 meter square on the globe. And if you speak those into a modern navigation system. So VinFast, the Vietnamese upstart, has adopted this. Also, a lot of adopters. If you look on the site, Ford, Land Rover, Mercedes-Benz, Subaru, Tata, a lot of logistics companies, Amazon, right? These places where you need to get or identify a 3 meter area is pretty amazing. So if you go to what3words, write these down: drips, 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 knee, KNEE, and vision, drips, knee, vision, you will be pretty much standing on the main stage at ASOTU Con. How cool is that? How cool is that?
Vision. I love it.
Drips, knee, vision.
There was also one like right next to it. Maybe that's where I'll be standing. That was like, it ended in sorry. I was like, oh man.
Sorry. Yeah, but how cool is that you can just tell people where things are going to go? Maybe we'll develop something. I haven't looked into it too far. Maybe there's an app. Maybe there's something we can use, have some fun with it at ASOTU Con. We'll figure that out.
We should do an NFT drop at a what3words location.
Dude, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Okay,
we'll find a really cool one.
We're gonna figure out a way to do that. Yes, we will. But that's 2 weeks from now. Speaking of fast forwarding to 2 weeks from now,
stop. Segue
time. Fast forwarding. So everybody knows that the little speed adjustment button on YouTube or on podcasts are actually on a growing number of platforms. Now you can do it on Dropbox. You can do it on Slack. Thank you. You can do it on Slack. Well, YouTube says a rising number of users are increasing playback speeds. More people are using playback speed feature in YouTube. And the company just reported that it is saving, get this, 900 years of people's time per day. It saves 900 years a day.
Doesn't even compute to me.
People are spending that much time on YouTube. What are we doing?
What are people doing out there?
So YouTube currently supports, right? You can actually, I didn't realize this. You can slow it down to 0.25 speed, 0.575 normal speed, and then you can speed it up 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2x. and they found when people use this, wait, what's the stat? More than 85% of the time, people use the feature to speed up content versus slow down content. I don't know why. Maybe if you're learning like guitar solos, you'd slow it down. That's actually a really good way to learn guitar solos.
You know what? That is a great way to learn guitar solos. Actually, I was thinking about this because when we talk about the type of content or volume of content that you're putting out on YouTube or on ads or anything like that, what if there's a way to like increase, because people are using this so often and they're attenuated to potentially playing things at certain speeds? What if you intentionally created content that required the use of this tool? So the
article actually talks about this a little bit.
No way.
It
I
does.
didn't read the whole article.
It was which one is, I can't know. I think it's Social Media Today. What was the article from? You can click on it. It's in the show notes.
Today. There we go.
They have some thoughts on it, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm thinking like, what if you created content that was intentionally really fast and someone needed to slow it down, or intentionally very slow, and that way when they did speed it up to 2x, that was the regular speed of your content.
There's some nerdery in there. I think that could work.
I think it could be a lot of fun, right? I think you
know
could
what I
utilize some like understanding speed or understanding like the way people consume content to kind of create a little disruption in the way that they might be expecting that content to come across.
You know what is going to be a lot different is like, say you're watching, more users are watching things on 1.5 and 2x speed. And by the way, they said as the day goes on, the speeds increase. Right. So early in the morning, people aren't using it as much. By noon, it starts to pick up. But by like 8, 9 o'clock, everyone's like, we just got to get this done. The day's running out. But think about this. You're watching content on a regular basis. More users are watching content at 1.5 or 1.75 or 2x, right? And it's moving. Your brain just starts to get wired processing that fast. And then an ad hits, right? And then the ad you can't speed up.
Right.
And the ad. So is that good because it actually breaks you out of the trance and helps you, pay attention to the ad? Or does it actually make you bored faster? That's the real question. Are you less likely to skip?
Like,
imagine
record all your stuff.
Creating an ad in 1.5, that might actually get better play.
Yes, exactly.
Because even though it's only 10 seconds of ad, you'd actually just factored in 15 seconds of message.
Yes. So record a 15-second spot, speed it up to 1.5 times, put it in the YouTube thing, and all of a sudden someone might actually feel like they're continuing content. Genius.
Genius. So I don't know what you think you're going to use more, whether it's the what3words or the YouTube playback speed. I think they're going to kind of go neck and neck, but whatever it is, go try them out. Go to the websites. This should broaden your horizons a little bit, get you thinking in some creative ways to go stop that stigma thing.